Good evening, Juanita Phillips with ABC News. It's been revealed that the passenger plane that crashed off the coast of Indonesia had experienced problems on its previous flight, even though it was brand new. The Lion Air flight went down with almost 200 people on board. Emergency workers have recovered personal items and some human remains from the sea. But the aircraft itself has not been found, nor has the crucial black box, which should provide clues about the cause of the crash. Indonesia correspondent Anne Barker reports from the port in northern Jakarta, where the search is based.
At first light, another search and rescue boat leaves Jakarta's main port for the site where flight JT610 came down. Specialist divers are now working alongside sonar equipment and an underwater drone to find the Lion Air plane and the bodies of those on board. They've sighted the plane's tail but still can't find the fuselage.
We want to find the main part of the plane, as the black box usually lies not far from it. Once we find the fuselage, I'm sure the flight recorder won't be far.
Authorities say they've already recovered all the debris and remains floating on the sea surface. Wallets, passports and ID cards of the passengers and crew among the wreckage brought to the port. The sheer number of them drives home how many lives have been lost. Each name is recorded and their photos shown in case they're recognised by friends and relatives. Human remains have also been taken to a police hospital for the difficult task of identification.
Families of the missing are dealing not only with the shock of losing their loved ones so suddenly, they're also struggling to understand how the crash happened. Lion Air says the new plane had encountered technical issues on its flight the previous day, but didn't say what the problem was.
Outside Jakarta's military airport, distraught families provide officials with details of their loved ones.
There is a birthmark on her right elbow and also one on the ear.
In the full gaze of the media, they're not expecting good news. At the police hospital nearby, where the post-mortem exams will take place, families are gathering to give DNA samples to help with the identification of remains. This young man, an only child since the death of his 3 siblings, has now lost his father as well. He normally avoided Lion Air, but yesterday was in a rush to get home.
The 29th of October is the province's birthday and also my mum's birthday. That's why my dad took the Lion Air morning flight.
A calculated risk, perhaps one of many that ended in disaster, as the families deal with the grim testimony of how many lives have been lost.
And Anne Barker joins us now from northern Jakarta. Anne, what has Lion Air had to say about those technical issues the day before the crash?
Juanita, we know this same plane had intermittent power loss the day before on Sunday in a flight from Bali to Jakarta, particularly at the beginning of the flight. There are technical logs that suggest that there were problems with unreliable instruments, particularly on the pilot's side of the panel, and that at times he had to hand the controls to the first officer. Now, Lion Air says that they carried out checks when that plane landed in Jakarta. They did the necessary maintenance and resolved those issues and ultimately deemed this plane fit to fly the next morning, which it did.
So, Anne, when can we expect to learn what caused the crash?
Well, ultimately it will come down to the black box or the flight recorders that are found with the wreckage under the sea. There are literally hundreds of people out at sea at the crash site now, scouring the waters, trying to find the fuselage and that black box desperately. Army personnel, Navy, Air Force and search and rescue officers. Now, that search will continue all night. It's a 24-hour search, but only when those recorders are brought in and studied there will be confirmation of whether it was indeed a technical issue or some other unforeseen circumstance, such as pilot error perhaps.
Anne Barker reporting there from Indonesia.